So Diana's back. Attack speed buff, passive buff, more uptime on that. Scaling every level instead of every 3 levels, huge, which means every level you're getting something exciting. Much like a good bottom lane. Every game you get an exciting bottom lane who think, hey, we can kill the Twitch with a hook. And in turn, as Diana starts on a Raptors, but we're watching this, right? If you're Diana, you're on the Raptors, you're watching this, you're starting off with your Q, making sure that's under control. Your Jinx dies, you're watching the Suns be burned, you're doing your camps, like, yep, that sounds about right. So as always, Diana, farming jungler, wards the blue. Why? Because we are against a Taliyah. Don't really expect the invade in this particular case, but it is worth noting that in this meta with Belveths and Lee Sins and Kanes and Raptor starting shenanigans, they might do the cheese invade, which is always not very good anyway. You can easily counter it. It's just irritating. So it's good to ward your opposite buff. Go down. Don't go back to base for a scanner. Keep the sucker in your pocket. And do yourself a full clear. I do like that we can start with a Q on the Raptors. Obviously, you can get a leash on the red. That works as well. But I think going leashless with Diana is always an interesting way to play the game. As now we see the Anivia roam mid lane to our Smolder. Nerfed Smolder, by the way. Gets stunned. Jace goes in with a hippity-hoppity. Smolder still turns it. Diana goes across there. Very nicely done. We'll look at that again in slow motion. This is the stuff that you don't usually see from Diana. So just to break down the route quickly. Yes, full clearing, we like to do it. Your passive obviously is going to help every level you get stats now, right? Instead of waiting to certain breakpoints. And in this particular case, you could look to gank this early, reset and go back up here. Not really what you want to do in farming junglers, but it can be done. In the meantime, obviously, if you see a gank, rotate. So with Diana, obviously, you know you get the reset on your E if you hit a Q first. So she moves into the space and time, hits that Q, gets the immediately, there's a buffer mechanic you have with that as well. On my main channel, we cover it. Hit that, we used our W unnecessarily, we get the reset on the E, and we dash back to the next target. She does have passive up. Smolder is low. Jay says TP. Learn when to stop. Know when to stop. In the meantime, the Taliyah is just full clearing. Remember, as a full clearing jungler, when you decide, all right, to show versus another jungler that maybe doesn't have the same full clearing capabilities, you're losing out on your advantage. Your unfair advantage is that you can clear quicker, and if they make a bad decision, you'll capitalize. In Diana's case, Hekrim's case, all these champions, if you see a gank, don't be afraid to go for them. Look at that, he's low, Set's being pushed up, they think Diana's a full clearer, she won't show, and that's exactly why you do. Because while you don't have the CC, you very much have the gap close here. Again, same thing, all we gotta do, you absolutely must head over to Virkayu.gg. I have a free jungle improvement resource as well as a dedicated program where we have jungle video courses, jungle coaching, coaching VOD libraries, weekly free video content seen nowhere else, as well as Q&As and patch note rundowns, as well as a private jungle Discord. And if there's one thing I'm good at, it's making junglers reach their goals, as we saw with the record number of people hitting them at the end of Season 13. If you want to climb faster than anyone you know, jungle diff every game you play, click the link below or head to Virkayu.gg. Again, same thing, all we gotta do is use our E in this particular case. I think we could have used a Q first, but we'll save our set from an untimely demise. Taliyah's very, very strong, ladies and gentlemen, especially against anything that likes to go in and have dashes, including Diana. So it is something you want to get out ahead of and not let scale. Taliyah does what most of us, I think, would expect Diana to do, which is a full clear. I don't know why the Thresh is going on a wild adventure here, but that's a free kill to the Taliyah. And now, the Taliyah will suspect that, what on earth is going on in the mid lane? Here's Diana. Okay, all right, chaos everywhere. All right, are we good? What vision do we have here? So we know that Taliyah is taking our stuff. We're going to go for the Skull Crab. We're not going to be able to save this. All right, cool. So Taliyah basically knows that because the Diana was leashless, she could have done red solo, but most likely people do Raptors, and thus that timer at 4 minutes will show up. She'll snack that away. In this particular case, Taliyah didn't start on the red, on the Raptors. She started on the red, going to Krugs into Raptors. And I'm just going to pause it here so we can catch our breaths a little bit, because if Taliyah starts here, goes here, goes here, goes all the way down, 420 spawn, 435, 440 spawn, right? And because we started here into red, into Krugs, the Krugs are only going to spawn here at around 435, 436, 437. And when you pay attention to clears that the enemy jungler is doing, you get these timers. So while Taliyah takes this kill from the Thresh and takes the Raptors and shows, Diana sees that. Do not contest this one. Know that we can go into her jungle and reciprocate. If the Taliyah started Raptors, or the Kayn or whatever started Raptors, you just take these, you leave a ward, and you can mount. But this is why I like to keep this on the first rotation, because now this is going to give me all the information I need to see what she does next. Here you have to be a little cautious because you know Tilly is going to go back to base and come and rotate over directly to this area, as we'll see. So as Diana, you've got to be quick about your timings, knowing I've got to counter juggle this and get out. I don't know if I would necessarily base in that brush, but I think it's a fine call in this elo. In lower elos, you might see a lot of people try and face check and check if you're there. I'm one of those people. If I'm Zyra, I'll put a plant and see and stop you. So always advise going a little bit further away just so you can definitely get out. Now, because we're farming jungle and we didn't really fall clear, we had a lot of activity. 3-0-0. And the Talia is at 2,000 gold, we're 2,600. And the CS, we're only down one camp. Amazing, no? What happens when you actually just play the map versus playing one particular dogma? You must gank, you must farm. Balanced approach is always the best. Talia does this, we see this. She goes here, she cuts down. Now she has to go here to this, or she can translate this to a gank at the bottom lane. Bottom lane, please pay attention. She doesn't think that Diana's going to show up, right? On the grubs, there it is. Now it's pinged off. You see now it's pinged off. Because at this particular stage, the Jace is ahead, the Diana is ahead, and the Smolder, while not really going to do much in the situation, still could rotate, and I think Talia just doesn't want to take that fight right now, which makes sense, right? The Diana is way further ahead, but because Talia took this camp as Diana, right? Because she took the Raptors, I go topside and do this, knowing I see her doing this, and she has to go here, it's free. And then I can sequence down or up or whatever I want to do. There's nothing here, right? There's nothing. The red isn't nearly ready to spawn. The Krugs are the only thing on the map. There's only one camp, one dragon. My bottom lane's a little bit tragic at this particular stage. I've got everything to do on the top side and nothing really to gain on the bottom. So it's a good idea, even though you started on the bottom side, to cut up for the grubs in this particular situation. Now, the Talia shows up. Here we go. Dive, dive, dive. Hook does hit this time, goes in for the Mega Flay. Unfortunately, the root actually doesn't help. Nivea places the Wall of Doom. Very good support, actually underrated. And now, Diana says, I'm level 6. If you guys overcommit, I'm going to rotate. I think everyone on the red team should kind of suppose that the Diana will be on her way now. Oh dear. Well, yeah, I was going to say that's a flash arm mechanic move. Auto attack swipe on the third passive. Chooses to go onto the Twitch. Why is that important? Because the Twitch had a shutdown. The Twitch had the shutdown. Sure, we probably could have killed the Talia, but what if the Twitch gets away then? It's more value for us to kill the Twitch in this particular situation. Also, if we kill the Talia, or try to kill the Talia with her flash up, and the Twitch is able to escape because of the wave, or turret aggro, or whatever, right? Rather kill the ADC. Now we can fall back into our jungle camps. Jace is looking here at going on the Smolder, so we're kind of positioning, ready to counter the dive, but some... You just watch that and you go, good job, Tiny Dragon. Your champion is disgusting and I hate you, but you're on my team and I wish you the best of success. Good wall. Good wall, good ult from the Talia. Now she will float to the top side. Then Nivea shows top side as well. We know that there's nothing for us on the top side, right? There's only red camps. There's no objective. Here, you could honestly justify just going for the dragon. I honestly think you could just go for the dragon here. I don't think you really need to think twice about it. I think once we see the Talia go up here in the Nivea show, I think that's a free dragon, especially over the wall quickly with the Thresh with you. All right, Jinx is coming out of base. I don't think there's anything stopping you. And I think that the Diana is wasting a lot of time here. Free objective, reset, top side camps will respawn, grubs will respawn. Nothing for the Talia to do. I think that's definitely a better play for her to make in this particular situation. The need for high elo junglers to oftentimes cut off each other, rather, sometimes is a little bit too strong. You know, you're not dying for the dragon, be absolutely free, especially again with the passive changes. This is huge now. This stays up for 5 seconds, not 3 seconds, in terms of the decay. And obviously you're getting that attack speed bonus every level as well. So every level you get a little bit stronger than you otherwise would have been. We do have ult again right now. I think the angle of approach there was a little bit iffy as well. I probably would have just gone around the outside. We're able to get him regardless, but in this situation, with him not quite close enough to the wall, I think if you just go wide here, you get him anyway, but that's not results-based. Let's just always assess each decision on its merit, regardless of what happens. Well, not regardless. I mean, if you do something 14 times and it doesn't work 14 times, you probably should find a new strategy, but in this particular case, you know what I mean. Now we get a free objective, but I do feel like we could easily be doing, could have been doing this anyway. I mean, honestly, because of the grub timer, you could have honestly... say honestly twice. You could have ganked the Twitch regardless. The dragon's already dead. You can then flow back to the Krug's cut up, and now you've got all of this here. So it does work out. It does work out, but it's not always an exact science with this stuff. Now we're a little bit compromised. Yeah, I don't wanted to play it through, but then, you know, I looked like I was correct. Or the results basing it, but no, was not. I haven't seen this game. Didn't know she was going to die. Have no idea what a KDA is. I mean, it's good because we're making a video about it, but you know what I mean. Okay, 510 Lichbane Rush, please, is a super good build. A lot of people are thinking too much about the Nash's Tooth and the Storm Surge and the Zhonya's, and that's not the way to go. If you want that DPS, for sure, the Nash's is great, but if you want that burst, this item is great. Just go this item. She loves the Sheen as well. Getting the grubs now. Tilly's going to counter jungle 203, also a little bit solid from these early phases, and now because Tilly stopped thinking too much and just decided, I'm controlling my econ, controlling my quadrants, counter jungling, she's up quite a lot of CS reasonably against the Diana especially, and the Diana 610. So you're making this choice of what are my priorities. But the Diana, I think the important thing that you can learn from this player, and can learn something, she has a high gold amount, she has a high KDA, but she didn't do it by ganking ridiculously. She didn't spam ganks, she didn't force the ganks. She looked at the lanes, looked at where she was, looked where the enemy jungler was, and said, yes, that's a high probability play, I can make it work. Yes, I can rotate over here and get kills. Yes, this is a free kill because I have ult and I can do the dragon afterwards. She didn't say, hey, I'm Diana, let's force a gank. She's gonna farm, and if she sees an opportunity, she'll use it to gank properly. Oh, stupid dragon champion. Anyway, Anivia's moving. We're gonna finish this off here. No real reason to force it too much because we're not gonna get level 9, but I think there's a good shadow. And the Tilly's going back to her top side. So a little bit of a quiet phase here, and this is okay as Diana. We don't mind this. We really don't. The one thing we haven't done is really settle down and farm and catch up camps. So look how quickly we're going to do this now. Boom. Hold the wave. Boom. Anivia there with passive up. Go all the way in. We do have ult available to us. Use it. Beautifully done. Oh my goodness gracious. Nice ult from the Smolter there and the passive proc. Come on, man. You had one job. Go bowling. But yes. See? Nice. Lose the DPS. Gain the burst. Obviously, Nash's is great too, right? Nash's is great too. You still have burst on it. But the win rate, Lichbane is such a good item on every AP jungler. From your Evelyns to your, I was going to say Alicia's, but you could do it, to your Nidalees, and as well as your Dianas. And the best win rates that I'm seeing right now are actually combining, spoiler alert, both of these items. Some go Nash's into Lich, and some go Lich into Nash's. And then obviously thinking about just throwing in the Rocket Belt, it's not a great dominating item, but it does something. It does something. Personally, I'm not on board with it. I think if you're going to go Lichbane and Nash's, I'm much more into the Snowball and get the Death Cap. You know, I have seen some Crypt Bloom, which is a little bit odd. I think the Zhonya's and the Void make a bit more sense, but the Crypt Bloom also does, because once you go in, right, that haste is nice for your abilities, your rotations, and the heal is good because you actually go in and you don't have Zhonya's. Stuff to think about when it comes to 3, 4, 5, 6 items. Thresh, once again, is a free thinker of roaming. And here we go. Q onto the Talia. We're looking to chase this around. We've got ult up in 6. We're trying to wait as much as we can. We're forced to flash, unfortunately. Jinx ult. Nothing. Unlucky. 14 minutes is coming up. Red buff is available. Obviously, pings are planted there. Jinx is overcommitting. She gets a kill on the Jace. Talia rotates, now down a level. You see how easy it is when you have a farming jungler baseline, but you also understand when to rotate that 80% rule. Do I have probability for success? Yes? Good. And that's because what you want to think about is 6,000 gold in 40 minutes. Hey, 6,700. And economy per minute. Gold and experience combined. Really a huge way to think about ensuring that you're always moving your feet and setting yourself up for the best success. Damage there from the Dyna, absolutely massive. Set with a Giga Shield. Pushes it all the way. We do have 6 grubs. So what I would advise here is if you do this at a 345 or sooner moment, please hit plates with your set. You got 6 grubs. The grubs are only useful if you actually take plates. They're great throughout the game, but the plates are really the gold income we want. So please go ahead, push the wave with the set, take some plates, take a turret, then fall back down to the Herald. Plates are gone, so less of an issue. And obviously there's a Twitch killing your Smolder. So let's see what we can do. There's been no game noise the whole time. I apologize profusely for that one. Nothing we can do about it. There it is. Now there's game noise. So The set over here is pushing this turret, and the Diana is taking this Algrump. Let's see what we can do now. Well, he's overcommitting. He's dying again. But do we care? No, we do our business. Down to the bottom side. And because they all show top side, and most likely you think we'll take the Herald, we'll just pull out and do the Dragon. Now we're spotted, they see it. Talia really wasn't even thinking about that Herald, actually. She should get it though now, no? Yeah. Here is where you can honestly say, let me go and counter jungle the blue side. I don't necessarily do that all the time, because obviously you don't know where the Renekton is, your sets and base. There's too much coin flippability that's possible, especially if your team went to base or you need to base, have a lot of gold, which we do. So just fall back to your own quadrant, hold waves, play a little bit safer. It's okay to not enforce the counter jungling in that moment, as long as you are consistently getting econ. That's what we like. Oh, mosquito. Return of the mosquitoes! Unfortunately. At least there's no hand above the base this time. If you guys watch the regular content on this channel, the gameplay channel, coaching channel rather, you know that there's those hands from the fists, the animation just sits in the sky when you zoom out sometimes. Just follows me around, but doesn't seem to be in this game. Now, what you're looking at is a game where I thought we were dominating, and then you look at the game and you're like, 6.4k gold in Twitch, Jinx is okay, Thresh is not. Mid lane is down by 1,000 gold, top lane is still down a couple hundred gold as well, and I'm up on the Talia only 3,000 gold. She's done a solid job of remaining relevant. So the game actually is really damn equal, even though it feels like I've done a good job, which does happen. So, Jinx is going back to base, the Smolder's pushing up, which means no camps to farm, we can shadow a little bit just to see what's up. Nothing's up. Oh look, there's a Jace here, and this is the thing. He's sitting in this brush. We don't know he's sitting in this brush. You can see the red team picking. He shows very briefly right there, in case you missed it, and now we know he's here. If he didn't leave the brush, I think he's okay. We use the scanner to see him, we go all the way in, and he will die for this. Don't really know what he was hoping to accomplish by sitting there, but he helped us. Now we can do the Grump. Talia will collapse in the meantime onto the set. And now we're going to enter the phase of what's the Diana going to build next, and what's her game plan going to be. To the face. Keep sequencing, keep your feet moving, don't compromise yourself too much. This guy is over pushing 100%. We expect him to be collapsed upon by the Twitch, by someone. So she's shadowing this. Mostly I don't like to shadow this because I just assume that he's going to die. But it turns out I'm really wrong on that one. Really wrong on that one, although cutting it a little close. I think if you've got nothing else to do, no camps to farm, and you're on that side, you might as well. Doesn't hurt you, and you might even get a free kill. Here you could trap and kill if you feel you're strong enough with ult. I hate Jace. Every Worlds we gotta bloody watch Jace. Got him every World to make him 2% win rate, and then you can bring him back. Just so I don't have to watch it a professional play ever again. At Worlds, specifically. Rest of the year, it's fine. Ugh. Now, Set's overcommitting on the split push. 2-3-1 with the Sunfire Cape and Thormail. Full tank Set. Here we go. Smolder's going to try and scale up as much as he can with a disgustingly nerfed kid. Has what, 44% win rate or something like that? Really funny. Still too high. Most people think it's too high, just because they're sick of seeing him. Terrible design. Terrible design. But Diana, high pick rate, win rate isn't that great. And again, the win rate for Diana isn't that great purely because of the itemization that people are going. You see how that was a really beautiful hold on the E. Make sure we get that kill there. The Talia's going to move from. We try and dodge a double. We're not able to do it. Here, obviously, we're going for the Leandries or potentially the Rift Maker, which shows up. I'm okay with that in concept. I'm okay with this in concept. Obviously, the Merc Treads are going to be huge. But I don't think necessarily it's the way I would go. I think the core itemization for me that's looking good in the win rates, just to talk a little bit about that, is the Nash's Tooth Lichbane combo. Thereafter, it's a little bit situational. If you're really fed and you want to go with the Death Cap, do it. If you feel like you need that mobility to gap close and actually get in on this game, then go with that Rocket Belt. It's not terrible. I do think the Storm Surge is a little bit of a bait, though. In my opinion. It's fine, it performs okay, but this for me is a nice combo, actually. It's not something we usually see, but since the mythic items have changed a lot, I mean, core items are lost on a lot of people, I do think it's a good idea to mix and match differently than you otherwise would. Nice disengage on the rock there from the Talia, but she will die. And that's why we don't really like the Zhonya's and Talia either there, you know, just go with the... you can go with Leandries and Ludens now. Go with Death Cap, go with the Void. trust your positioning as a mage. Because her being out of position there, the Thresh, or the Anivia rather being out of position there, equals 2 deaths and a free Baron. Which in theory we should be able to do pretty damn easily, but we do have to watch out for their entire team collapsing in on us if the game is close. Let's see, Renekton goes in, Twitch will 100% show up. There he goes in the backline. Nice! Flank from the Twitch. Nice flank from the Twitch. Very good. That's where the tank Diana would be a much more obnoxious thing, but I think that's being nerfed for good reason. Jinx is showing up, trying to get... Oh! Whew. That was a frogging wall. That was a frogging wall. That was a frogging good wall. Very, very nice. So a good throw. Although I'm not going to say it's not really a good throw. It was just a great play by the Twitch. Great angle of approach. Great camo usage. And the Diana got kited out. That's the downside of playing it like this. Again, I don't know if the Leandries is the way I would go. It is, again, a lot more diverse. A lot of AP champions and other champions have great diversity in the itemization. My champions are not always that case. They were better in the Mythic era with that diversity in terms of what you could build. Is what it is. But now, with 6 grubs and mites, obviously you still have that advantage, even if you all lost the Baron. Renekton split pushing. And now you're saying, okay, what does late game Diana do? Firstly, you are an assassin. That you are. You're also an AP fighter, Disruptor, and CC Soka. So if you need the Zhonya's to go in for your Yasuo to survive and absorb things, then of course the Zhonya's is a good item. But I think the best way to play her is understanding that you can get leads early. You can snowball with a lot of damage. You're point and click. You're easy to use. Your combo is devastating one-on-one and for a team fight, especially if you know the Flash R combo. You've got the W shield. Pretty damn solid as well at this particular stage. You scale with that HP also on that, so the Rocket Belt helps there as well. And most importantly, when your team are shitting the bed, you're a split pusher. And you can do that very, very easily. And I think that's a thing people struggle with. But if your team are baiting and dying, you're never going to get a Baron, hit some turrets, force this up, and you do it quickly with Lichbane Nash's Tooth. The split push is echo level. It's really potent. But for now, I like the fact that everyone's just chilling. Alright, except no one is watching the map except for apparently the Diana. Passive is up on the Anivia, but look at the damage, man. Flash over the wall. Look at the attack speed. Look at the damage. Oh my goodness, this is ridiculous, actually. Woo! I mean, now you're saying, well, maybe it's the Leandries. No, it's not. No, it's not. There's the stopwatch on the Seekers. You see, she's realized now that she needs that Seekers to survive the Twitch and wait for her combos, her abilities to come back off cooldown. And 13-4-8, we do die there, unfortunately, but that was a monstrous fight from her. And this is where the Rocket Belt logic comes in, right? You've got the HP and you've got the active. You can kind of do that instead of Leandries, but honestly, that was good. I mean, it's not. I'm not going to attribute the damage to that. That was 100% from this and this. Oh, you can't see it. 2,800 damage on the Lich Bane so far. 3,400 damage on the Nash's Tooth. Yeah. Good item combo. I recommend you do that. And then obviously from there, flex, as I've been saying. And hey, if the Leandries make sense for you in terms of what you're fighting, by all means, go for that item, yeah? Feel free to test it out and see how it feels. I'm not building dogma unless you're building really dumb things that make no sense for a champion's design or what their goal is in a game. Then it's weird, but this is still good. She likes HP, she likes AP, she likes survivability, and she likes doing damage over time. Logic checks the boxes. Next is interesting though, so she has to go the Zhonya's. I feel like you maybe could have justified the Zhonya's in this game particularly first into a death cap into void. I think the HP she felt would be enough. Wasn't, so we got the Seekers as well. And it's a good combo there. Now, next up, we need to finish the needlessly large rod and then the Zhonya's to see what we can do. Set is split pushing with Tiamat finally. You really need 5 people to try and collapse on a set split pushing with a Herald and a Baron coming up. Grandmaster, guys. Alright. You do you. Lose map control for no reason. Diana says, alright, I'll take the free Scuttle Crab. Huge for the Baron coming up. Dragon's available. You guys can go for it. We have 2. You have 1. Don't really care. See, now, you're looking to flank like an assassin. You are an assassin, but you're still that AP bruiser. Twitch is the question mark for us. TB's been committed over here. Hopefully someone sees it. You see the TB, so you just decide to go straight in onto the Twitch, who's got nothing else, and the damage is ridiculous. But the Talia in the back line gets that kill onto you. Remember, or not Talia, but you die. Remember that when you play assassin like this, Diana like an assassin, play an assassin like this, You die if you go in and you misjudge your damage. And you have no survivability in your Zhonyas. You do die. But the good news is, if your team is fed and you still kill the target, and they have to deal with you and use their spells, your team can clean up pretty damn nicely. Which they do. And then they take, well, the red team take the dragon, excuse me, actually. Jace just says, I'm gonna go do that. So, and then nothing happens for multiple minutes. They regroup and we're gonna do it all over again. But now we have the Zhonyas. And the final item there, I would say probably you can just go Death Cap. There's no real need to buy Void in this game, but you can do that as well, especially for effectiveness. And it still does true damage, basically, to the Twitch. Backline there is interesting. The Diana gets trapped. The set decides to go in first, which is fantastic. We do hit the Q there on the Talia from the backline. She's marked by the Moon, passive of the Diana, who's being a lot more cautious with her entry point here. But she did get stuck. She did get stuck and stunned. Lucky to survive. Not the best example of flanking as an assassin. But that's obviously something you guys want to work on. And this combo is kind of tough. So I would say in this particular game, if you're seeing these situations, a bit of split push, force them to rotate, cut down. Someone over pushes, make the pick. Use a bit more split push in this game, I think, than what we've been seeing. I think that would definitely be helpful. But free Baron. Gromp. Wolves. 1800 in pocket. Easily could go back to base and get a Mejai's or a Needless. I feel like sitting on this Dark Seal here is a little pointless. I might prefer just to go and get the Needless to guarantee that AP ratio. Needless plus an Elixir for this phase in the game. And because you know you're going to close, right? Just maximize the AP guaranteed for the first pick. Kill the Twitch, no questions. You got your Zhonyas. Don't sit on this Dark Seal for no reason. So I definitely think we base with that gold. We get Needless. We get an Elixir. And then we make full commitment. But the flanking angle, oh my god, beautiful. And you can see there the E afterwards onto the Talia. Full combo. Force the flashes, force the spacing, go back into the Talia. That, my friends, is how you play as an assassin. So I take it back. This is a great game for it. Look for the flanking angle. Both. We've chucked already. Whoopsie. We've chucked already our Q. Buffered the E. So we're going over the wall already together. By the time they hit, your E gets reset, which of course we have. Now we've procced. Can I double click this, please? Now we're going to proc our ult here. Suck 3 people in. We're going to assume that the Twitch is going to die, but he flashes over the wall brilliantly. Okay, we don't actually have enough space to hit that next E onto him. And obviously because the Talia has chucked her E on the ground plus his W, which you see, we want to go on her to escape as much as possible. So immediately, you see that you're going to get disengaged on here. Use your E straight up onto the Talia. Keep your auto attacks going. And free kill. But of course, Zhonyas happens. We do have ours coming up shortly. Chuck a Q off the wall there. Beautiful set E as well to play off of you. Wonderfully done. And that, my friends, should be GG. Apologize for the audio in the first half of the video, but hopefully you were just studying the game at a higher level. As we look at Dynamic Fit, 13, 5, 13. GG's. Damage on the Lich Bane, you ask, 3,165. 3,953 on the Nash's, and 1,500 on the Leandries. Serviceable. Thank you very much for watching. And as always, I'll see you all in the next one.